Lesson number one. The first lesson that we learn from an overcomer is that ignorance is not a demon. You do not solve the problem of ignorance just by casting it out. You go for knowledge. Lesson number one from an overcomer: ignorance is not a demon. The problem of ignorance is not solved by casting it away. There are spirits that enhance an ignorant person's remaining in that state. But essentially, the starting point for all men is ignorance. All men start in ignorance by default. It is not a negative condition until it is allowed to prolong or be prolonged in your life. Are we together? Yes. It is the remaining of ignorance that makes it a problem. All men begin their journey in destiny in ignorance, including Jesus. The Spirit of God drove Jesus in Matthew chapter 4 to go and pray and to be tempted of the devil. But it was not the Spirit of God that drove him at age 13 to go to the temple. As an act of his will, he went to the temple and invested time. Aware of his ignorance, he began to do something about it. Jesus was not the only young man in his day, but he was one of the few who dedicated themselves to learn. Ignorance is not a demon. There are many believers who want a short-term, fast-fix solution to the issue of ignorance. And most church people, especially in Africa, just believe that with one prophetic declaration, age-long ignorance will suddenly evaporate out of your mind, leaving you with superior wisdom. It does not happen like that. The cure for ignorance is not just prayer. The cure for ignorance is not just deliverance. The cure for ignorance is the discipline to stay with light until light drives away darkness. Lessons from an overcomer: ignorance is not a demon. Many people today, that includes men and women of God in ministry, that includes family people, that includes aspiring people in our world today, are left at the mercy of their ignorance. They continue to fail and to recycle pain perpetually, bringing all kinds of flimsy excuses and justifications. And many of them have invented all kinds of imbalanced strategies to deal with the ignorance. First and foremost, many will not even admit that they are in ignorance. Can I tell you, a real miracle begins at the point where you are aware of your state of ignorance. Even if you do not know the way out yet, that you are aware that I am in this state of ignorance already begins to put you in a position of victory. For as long as you live, I want you to learn and to know this: ignorance is not a demon. All men, including the ones who you call overcomers, started from a standpoint of ignorance. Are we learning? 2 Timothy chapter 2 from verse 15. 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15. It says, study to show yourself approved unto God,